My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today is Super Bowl Sunday, so I thought I would do a show based on the Super Bowl. What I want to talk about today is how marketing is trying to rewrite history. Now, just as a person who's been alive on this earth for 59 years, that has seen a lot of things, I don't like when people try to market things. Of course, through capitalism, people are trying to make money. So they try to push different agendas to make people more excited about things. But as an existentialist who cares about people's lives, I don't like people being erased from history just because it's history. I think it's very disrespectful. So right now you don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. And also, when we're looking at the internet, you would think that because we have all this incredible information at our fingertips, that everybody would have a good knowledge of things. And it doesn't really work like that, because I'm going to prove to you that the only way to get real information, or the correct information sometimes, is that you would have to know what the right questions are in the first place. And if you don't know what how to ask the right question or where to go with it, how are you going to get that information? Because a lot of this stuff is slanted. So let me give you the examples that I'm talking about. So today is the big game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to keep pushing this narrative all the way through the whole game, and they've already been doing it. Well, obviously, for the last 2 weeks. Actually, since the beginning of the season. Kansas City Chiefs going for the three-peat. They're going to win 3 world championships in a row. It's never been done before. And so now everybody, and the Taylor Swift fans and everybody else, is looking forward to this, because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have a chance to do something that's never been done before. But, okay, is this true? So let's do a little bit of a question thing here with the phone. I guess what is it, Siri? Has any football team won 3 championships in a row in professional football? No team has ever won the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. Okay, but notice the question I asked. I didn't ask, did anybody win the Super Bowl, right, 3 times in a row? I didn't ask that. I said world championship. Because the Super Bowl is just another name for world championship, which was changed. So let's try this again. Let me ask, have the Green Bay Packers ever won the world championship 3 times in a row? Actually, this one told me the truth. All right, so we're gonna go with this, because this is what people actually need to know. The Green Bay Packers did three-peat. They won 3 world championships in a row. In 1929, 1930, and 1931. Now, they don't talk about this, but here's the thing. The coach of that team was Curly Lambeau. So they ended up naming the stadium after him. So when you see these games and they say, this is at Lambeau Field, yeah, it's disrespectful not to mention the fact that they did win 3 world championships in a row, because they actually named the stadium after the guy. And not only did they do it once, but Green Bay has done it twice. When you look it up, most of the time they're going to say Green Bay has won 2 Super Bowls. They won the Super Bowl in 1966 and 1967. Therefore, they've won 2 Super Bowls. What they don't tell you is that they won the championship in 65 when it wasn't called a Super Bowl. So literally, we were saying that the Chiefs are going to be the only one to do this. Even during the Super Bowl era, the Green Bay Packers started off by winning 3 in a row. And here's the thing of what also makes it disrespectful. When Green Bay won it in 65, 66, and 67, the coach of that team was Vince Lombardi. And now the winner of the game today, as in all Super Bowls, they're going to be handed the Lombardi Trophy, which is the Super Bowl trophy. So they literally named the Super Bowl trophy after Vince Lombardi, who won 3 championships in a row. But they refused to say that Green Bay has won 3 championships in a row. And this is disgusting because there are people alive who still remember Vince Lombardi and they still know that they have won 3 championships in a row. So everybody who's watching this game today going, oh my God, Kansas City this, Kansas City that, first time ever, three-peat. It's okay, they've got a great team and they might win 3 in a row. That would be a huge accomplishment. But let's not erase all of these amazing human beings that came before them, because there's no reason to do it other than to try to sell tickets and sell all this, whatever they're selling here. Let's throw in something else about championships. How many championships did Bart Starr have? Just him by himself. So let me see if I can ask this here. How many championships did Bart Starr win? Okay, we're back to this again. Bart Starr won 2 Super Bowl championships. Now, he was the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. So when you ask the question, it comes up as he's won 2 Super Bowl championships. I didn't ask that. I asked how many championships he won. Here's the truth with Bart Starr. Bart Starr, again, somebody that basically we've erased all from football memory. But let's be honest. Let's be decent to him, his fans, his family, and anybody else on this earth that's trying to do good things that you're afraid to be forgotten about just because, again, time moves on. But Bart Starr won the World Championship with the Green Bay Packers in 1961, 1962. He lost in 63 and 64, but then he came back and he won 65, 66, and 67. So when we're looking at this, Bart Starr is somebody who never gets mentioned anymore because this was kind of a long time ago. But he won 5 world championships in 7 years. That's amazing. So why are we forgetting about this? But of course, if we're going to have a conversation like this, we can't forget about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the only person to win 7 championships. He's won 7 championships in 22 years. And we're going to hear that today too on the Super Bowl coverage, because Mahomes is going to be going for that record. Now, we shouldn't even be talking like this because it's not an individual record. These guys are on teams. They have defenses, they've got special teams, they've got kickers, all this stuff. And yet the way they're pushing it today is that it's only the quarterback going for the championship, which again is a very, very superficial, typical of the year 2025 style of doing things, because they're not talking about the team. But let's just go with what we have. So Tom Brady, 7 championships, 22 years, the only person who's ever done that. Is that true? So let's look this up. Is Tom Brady the only quarterback in the NFL to win 7 championships, 7 world championships? I don't know if you could read that. It says Tom Brady is the only NFL player who has won 7 Super Bowl rings. Okay, I didn't ask that. What I asked was NFL championships, right? Just because you change a name to Super Bowl as opposed to World Championship shouldn't mean anything. So let's look at this again, because I don't think he's the only one that's won 7. How many World Championships did Otto Graham win?
Otto Graham won 7 championships in 10 seasons with the Cleveland Browns. This is from babinamaspedia.com.
See, now, for those of you out there that didn't know that, right? I don't know if you heard that, but it says Otto Graham won 7 championships with the Cleveland Browns in only 10 years. Like, why didn't you know that? Well, because they just brush it off. They just talk about the new stuff, right? That's number one. But number two, in order for you to get that information, how would you get it? Because if you Googled it or asked Siri, you're not going to get the right answer. You have to go deeper to ask a better question. And the only time you're going to ask a better question is if you already know the answer. So that also tells you why, with the internet, you would think that with access to all this information, that people would be getting smarter and smarter by the day. And they're not. They're getting much, much worse, and they're getting more divisive as people. So let's go over this again. Tom Brady is not the only NFL quarterback to win 7 championships. Otto Graham won 7 championships with the Cleveland Browns. Now, he did it in 10 years. So he won the same amount of championships, but he did it in 10 years compared to Tom Brady's 22 years. So who has the best winning percentage of a quarterback? That's Otto Graham. It's not even close. Tom Brady's not even in the discussion. Let's do this one better. And I could Google this again, but let's not, because I already know the answer. Otto Graham not only won 7 championships in 10 years, he was in the championship game all 10 years of his career. By today's standards, somebody like Patrick Mahomes would have to be in the Super Bowl 10 years in a row and win it 7 out of 10 times and then retire. Okay, nobody's touching this record, not even close. But the fact that they disrespect Otto Graham, and by the way, one of the reasons why I'm doing this show is because I do believe that there's ageism out there, right? Like once if a person gets old, they kind of just push you off, so you're not worth anything anymore, right? They just want to make you disappear. But also, people that were in their prime a long time ago, they want to get rid of those records too. Because what they're trying to do is make people of today feel like they're somehow more important or more valid. When in fact, it could be true, but it's not really true. Are some of these players doing some of the things as good as people did in the past? It's questionable. What I'm saying is that they're not really giving you all of the information. As a matter of fact, I'll say it harsher. They're lying to you. Now, there's another guy in this game. He's a great player for the Philadelphia Eagles. He used to be on the Giants. His name is Saquon Barkley. Now, he almost broke the single-season rushing record this year, which would be an amazing accomplishment. But what happened is, and this is a 17-game season now, he didn't play in the last game, so they saved him for the playoffs. So he wasn't able to get that record. And so that record that he was almost going to get, he did not get. The record still stands with a person named Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson played in a 16-game season, and he broke the record. So, okay, what am I going to say here? Here's something else. If Saquon Barkley broke the record in a 17-game season, should it count? The answer is not really. There should be an asterisk next to it saying that, yeah, he had more yards, but he played an extra game. So why should it count? Why are we going to actually act? I mean, it is a great accomplishment, but it's not a record-setting accomplishment. Now let's go to Eric Dickerson's record. He set the record for the rushing in one season in a 16-game season. Now, should he have an asterisk next to his name? I'm going to say absolutely yes. Now, you don't know what I'm saying yet, because the actual single-season rushing record was set by O.J. Simpson with 2,003 yards. He did this in 1973, but he played in a 14-game season. So the fact that you could say anybody is going to break O.J. Simpson's record, the only way they can do it is do it in a 14-game season. Don't give him an extra 2 to 3 extra games and think you're breaking a record. Sorry, you're not. It's still O.J. Simpson's record. If you want to go the amount of yards per game, Saquon Barkley averaged 125.1 yards per game this season, which is amazing. It's great. It's obviously like in the top 3 of all time, right? But Eric Dickerson averaged 131.6 yards per game, which is significantly better. But what's even better than that is that O.J. Simpson averaged 143.1 yards per game. absolutely untouchable. So this is what I'm saying too. What you're going to hear today in the Super Bowl is Saquon Barkley season rushing record, blah 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 blah. He would have had it if he didn't play in that last game. What are you talking about? He already played in 16 games. You should subtract 2 more games because OJ did it in only 14 games. So again, we're trying to just hype up these people to be able to get more interest, to get more eyes to watch the game, to get more people to be talking about this, about these great records, and you're seeing something that's never been done. It's garbage, complete garbage. From the things that I've already showed you, that there's nothing that you could say that's against what I'm saying. It's just pure, unadulterated fact. If you don't like it, that I can't be held responsible for that. But I just don't like people trying to rewrite history or to whitewash history that's already been done. I don't think I have much more than that. I actually could add a few more things, but I want to stop it at 16 minutes. So anyway, watch the Super Bowl today if you like. Have fun. Oh, you know what? Let me add this to it. When we're talking about some of these records that are happening today, in other words, Tom Brady being able to be on the winning team in a Super Bowl for seven times. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes doing really well. Let's not forget, one of the things that keeps popping up that people don't want to talk about is the fact that football used to be a very vicious, brutal game where injuries were a part of it. Now, they barely touch the quarterback, so the quarterback can pretty much do whatever he wants, and they have running quarterbacks now because no one's really killing the quarterback. So what does that do? It changes all of the stats because somebody like Mahomes doesn't really have to worry about getting hurt because he's not getting hit. And so this changes it. You look at the old style quarterbacks, even like Joe Montana. This guy was getting brutalized on a regular basis through all these seasons. And yet when you really look at his stats, okay, he won 4 Super Bowls, and I would still put him up as the #1 quarterback that's ever played in the game because he had to deal with much more viciousness and a lot less rules. And now all the rules are put in specifically for the offense to score more points. And so it's become a very pass-happy league where these receivers are running all over the place and not having any fear of running over the middle or doing anything because they're not going to get hit that hard. And you see half these players, they run down the field, and if they're about to get contacted, they jump out of bounds. This is not real football. So, in my opinion, yes, they're good athletes. Yes, the game has changed. All of this stuff, and you have to be okay with the fact that we're trying to have a football game, but it's not real football anymore. But it's still exciting. Give them their records. But stop trying to erase the records of the past because those records actually were much harder to obtain than the records that these people are getting today. My name is Joe Peroni. This is the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you.